Prince Harry's recent speech in New York had all the makings of a royal flop, leaving attendees more bewildered than inspired. This was no ordinary address, it was a moment meant to honour the legacy of his mother, Princess Diana, while discussing mental health and climate change. However, the Duke of Sussex, dressed in a crisp navy suit that couldn't quite mask his inner turmoil, appeared more like a deer caught in the headlights than a confident speaker. Body language expert Judy James noted that the Duke was visibly nervous and exhibited what she described as anxiety rituals before taking the stage. Without his ever-present partner in crime, Meghan Markle, Harry stepped into the spotlight and seemingly couldn't shake off the jitters. Observers were treated to a cringeworthy display of discomfort as Harry cracked his knuckles, tugged at his blazer and pulled on his tie, an impressive 19 gestures of anxiety in a mere 28 seconds. Dressed to the nines but feeling like a $10 bill, Harry's antics didn't stop at mere fidgeting. He bounced in his chair, rubbed his knees, and even seemed to perform a rather theatrical leg shimmy. If only his words had been as captivating as his body language. Instead, what came out of his mouth was a confusing mix of platitudes that could only be described as word salad. His attempts to connect with the audience fell flat. For some reason, I've been given the microphone to ask the questions, he joked. He proceeded to praise the young recipients of the Diana Award, exclaiming, "I know my mother would be incredibly proud of you guys." You guys? Really, Harry? Professional settings call for a bit of decorum, not casual slang that could have been uttered at a backyard barbecue. As he rambled on about mental wellness and climate anxiety, one couldn't help but notice the stark contrast between his dishevelled appearance and the poised presence of the audience. It's hard to muster sympathy for a man who seems to thrive on attention while presenting himself like he just rolled out of bed. With comments about his apparent bloating and unkempt looks, the audience was left to wonder whether they were watching a royal or someone who's just come from a long night out. Harry's face turned bright red at one point, likely from either embarrassment or a bout of acute anxiety, while he flashed an endearing smile that felt out of place amidst the chaos of his delivery. As he discussed the importance of listening to the younger generation, one couldn't help but feel that he was projecting his own desperation for validation onto his audience. Let's not ignore the fact that Harry's living the high life while dishing out unsolicited advice. He has no formal education in psychology and scant experience dealing with mental health issues. So, who exactly appointed him as the royal spokesperson on mental health? The self-proclaimed advocate couldn't even get his facts straight, making one wonder if he'd paid top dollar for a speechwriter, or if he'd simply been left to flounder on his own. Attendees left the event scratching their heads, some undoubtedly questioning why he was even given a platform in the first place. How is it possible that King Charles' second son consistently finds himself in situations where he appears lost, angry, and frankly unprofessional? The overarching sentiment seemed to be that Prince Harry is traded in his royal responsibilities for a new gig as a word salad artist, charming the audience with an array of empty phrases and hand gestures that would make even the most seasoned performers cringe. One could argue that he's morphed into Meghan Markle's clone, serving up speeches that are more about her than about any meaningful impact.